Hey, Josh, John Scott. I'm sure you've heard the news about what's been going on with the Titans, the few more positive tests. I guess from a player standpoint, would you be comfortable facing a team that has had an outbreak like this in short order?
Well, I mean, if the game does happen, I trust our staff and trust what Coach McDermott and the league kind of tell us to do. As long as they're again tested negative, and again, I don't know what the protocol is, how many days they need to test negative, but I mean, it is what it is. We're controlling what we can control here. We're planning on playing and going, taking it one day at a time. We're not writing anything off yet. We really don't know what's going to happen, but the best thing that we can do is prepare like we're playing a game on Sunday.
Is there a time frame that you as a player with your preparation would like to know what would be happening, whether or not the game gets moved a couple days or to the later portion of the season?
I mean, no, it doesn't really bother us. Again, we'll take it one day at a time. We're preparing like we're playing on Sunday, and if things change today, tomorrow, if they change Sunday morning, we'll have to adapt and overcome. And I think, that's the good thing about having the locker room that we do. We're very flexible. We got guys that, care a lot about each other and are willing to, sacrifice things in order for the greater good of this team.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Yep, thank you.
Hey, Josh, Sal here. I did some math. It's not my strong suit, but I tried. You have played 32 NFL games, started 31, and it's 2 full seasons essentially. 1 through 16, you had 13 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. 17 through 32, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You've often pointed to the Patriots game last year as a turning point for you. And it just so happens that was the 16th game, and then everything else kind of came after that, which is incredible. So could you take me a little deeper into that? Was it a mindset change? Was it a conversation with somebody? Like what happened? Because that's a pretty incredible, pretty swift pivot right there.
Well, I think it was a mindset change for sure. And, after that game, I had numerous talks with, Dable, McDermott, and Bean, and I made a vow to them, and I'll keep that in-house, but, that I'd be a better quarterback and do things, the right way. And, again, I this isn't just me doing it, though. It's been a small army between Dable and Dorsey and the front office, bringing the guys that they've brought in the offseason, working with Jordan Palmer and having guys like Sam and Kyle to compete with, on the field. And, it's been a long process, obviously, and I still got a long way to go. There's no way no way that I'm saying I'm arrived or I'm there. I know I got to continue to work on stuff and keep finding ways where I can try to be the best quarterback, the best teammate I can be for the Bills.
Is that mindset, Josh, is that something you're always cognizant of, or do you think you're kind of past that and it's just more of habit and routine now?
I still got to remind myself, there's, the hero ball, some say, something that I got to continue to work on. And I think I've been better with it this year. But still a couple plays here or there that, I get carried away and the gunslinger comes out. But just being smart with the football. I mean, playing situational football. And again, that's kudos to Coach McDermott, in our team meetings. That's the majority of what he preaches to this team, and showing us different situations and how we're supposed to handle them in turn helps us win football games. So just kind of doing what I'm told.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, John Worrell, AP. How you doing?
Good, John. Good to see you.
Good seeing you. I know there are controllables and things that you can control, but when it comes to COVID and when it comes to playing another team and being on the field with another team, there are no controllables in how that other team controls its situation in that way. What level of trust and what level of comfort do you have in believing that this team, your team, and you can be safe being on that field, knowing that the Titans have had positive tests 4 days away from the game?
I can't 100% answer that with a, clear and reasonable thought process, other than, we're taking it one day at a time here, and we're trusting each other here, and we're holding each other accountable here. Now in turns for the other 31 teams, again, we've got no say in that. And, we're masking up in our facility. We're making sure we're following the right protocols. And that's, again, that's from the top down, and that's just kind of what has been set before us. And we've been doing a good job of, holding each other accountable. And it's good to see. And, we got to trust the other 31 teams to do so as well.
How different is this season? And I'm just saying that, Sean McDermott talked about how even we're not perfect. No one is perfect in this situation. It just takes one slip up to have something break out. You guys have encountered this back in training camp with false positives, and then when camp was shut down briefly. But how different is this, and how much do players have to keep adapting? Because it's so easy for things to have a sudden change.
Yeah, and again, it takes one guy to go to the grocery store, and it's simple as that sometimes. And you don't ever suspect anybody to have it in the facility, but you've got to hope that guys are wearing their masks, the contact tracers are working. If guys are feeling down and they're not feeling right, and like we had, player wasn't feeling great today, and he told everybody, and he was good to go. But just like holding each other accountable to that standard, where if you are feeling something, tell somebody. Make sure that you're getting out in front of it. And again, that's one of the great reasons we've been okay with what's going on right now, because we are accountable and we trust the guys in this locker room to, do the right thing.
Thanks very much, Josh.
Hey, Josh, kind of adding on to that, what about the job that Sean McDermott has done since the beginning of the offseason when you guys went virtual, helping prepare you all for a situation like this or anything that really could arise in a season where there's so much uncertainty?
Yeah, I mean, it's what Coach McDermott did earlier in the year when we had the false positives, and just sending everybody home and making sure we were going virtual with the meetings. And we would have done that if we had to for, however long we had to. But that's just the leadership aspect of what Coach McDermott brings, and he's trying to find different ways. I mean, we're all trying to adjust. We're all still kind of new to this whole situation, and we understand that it's not going to be perfect and that we're going to hit adversity, and we got to be kind of prepared for any situation that's been thrown our way. And again, this is no different, and each game's got its own situation. Each week, I know now this with what's going on is going to have its own situation as well, and it's just something that we haven't seen before. But we got to trust the leadership in front of us, and just follow on what they act on.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Hey, I'm Ashley from Channel 2 here, the NBC affiliate. Just to piggyback off of Maddie as well, I know you say it is what it is, but is it still frustrating to know that you guys can do all of the right things and other teams, you don't know exactly what they're doing, but it puts the season in jeopardy. You don't know where you guys are going. Is it kind of just frustrating at the same time? You're like, all right, we were on this good path, but now we are here.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's frustrating, but as a team that's off to a good start, we feel like we've got a good thing rolling here, and we want to play. That's our mindset. And again, like I said, we're preparing to play on Sunday. Unfortunately, it takes two to tango, and it is what it is. Like we'll figure it out. The league will figure it out, and then we'll move forward from whenever we get the news. If we're playing, if we're not playing. Again, this is a team that's been flexible, and we've been able to adjust and overcome a lot of different things throughout the season. And this is just another one of those things.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, looking at the numbers over the past three, or really just this season compared to the last two, your completion percentage on crossing routes is up by like 30%. Completion percentage on balls 20 yards downfield is up like 40%. I'm curious, what are you seeing differently? What have you been doing differently this season specifically in order to see that increased accuracy?
I think it kind of starts with the slight mechanic change that we worked on in the offseason, talking to numerous people and trying to fix some things, and allowing myself to be a more rotational thrower and get my hip through. And then two, you add in the guys that we got running routes. A lot of trust goes into it and putting the ball up there. And again, I think we've got one of the better receiving corps in the league, and guys that are just wanting to work hard. And it's the practice reps that we get and how hard our guys go and the communication that we have between it. And then it takes the five guys up front to block. And, it really is a team effort. And it's just, I see that as a team stat for sure.
Gotcha. And then just to follow up quickly, Jordan Palmer told me that just in the offseason, you guys, the past two, you've worked on like throwing with anticipation, throwing with touch specifically this past offseason. I was wondering, what was that process like in learning, or I guess kind of rewiring yourself to not gun the ball and use all that arm strength you have on every pass, and like kind of figuring out when to finesse a ball in there?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was kind of this whole cliche, practice makes perfect, but in reality, it's the perfect practice that makes perfect. Getting those reps that you absolutely love and try to emulate that feeling. And we had different guys that we would throw to in the off season, and some guys were in college, some guys were out of college, some guys were in high school, and just different size, different speeds, different angles that we had to get the ball out to. And just the fact that we had those different options where it forced you to kind of change your throwing motion. You weren't throwing to the same spot each and every time, and it was something different, something new. And, in your mind, things just kind of click differently when you've got those amount of reps, those amount of good reps. And that's kind of what I've been feeling.
Cool, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Marcel.
Hey, Josh, Mike, Catalana, just quickly on this, you guys always have good sportsmanship and everybody's on the field at the end of the game. And I don't know if you saw, there's a picture of Mahomes. He's hugging Stephon Gilmore. Now, my guess would be he assumed Gilmore was negative because he's playing in the game. If they did away with that at the end of games, and I know people are saying, well, you play in a whole game and then there's after the game. Would you be okay with that if it's because of these reasons, it's just one other layer of contact that could be avoided and still play a football game?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, limiting the amount that you can be exposed to. And I understand that. And, it was kind of one of those things when we first got here, and we had the lockers spaced out, and everybody's like, well, like, why are we doing this? Like, we're in the same building, we practice, we go out there and do this. But, the fact that guys played a game against, like, I think it was the Minnesota game, the Tennessee game, whatever it is, and this team had it and this team ended up not having it. And it could have been as simple as they just weren't exposed to that much. And if you limit that exposure, I think it gives you a better chance of kind of staying clear of it. So whatever way we go, I'm for it. I know guys want to go and see each other, and you got some boys on the other side of the team and you want to say what's up. But at the end of the day, availability is the best ability. So I guess that kind of takes precedent over everything else.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.